You hear about them parties? Nah, that wasn't for me. No, sir.
Inside sources say Jay-Z beefs up security and threat that a retaliation from Beanie Sigel for dropping him from the label.
This was in the newspaper.
It's in the paper. It's public record.
More like a little, for lack of better terms, a little ritual. I know he'll always, when he was working on his albums, he would wear Biggie chain. His Cuban with the Jesus piece. JL rocked that.
Seems like the rap community is finally starting to speak out against Diddy and Jay-Z after keeping quiet for years and overlooking all the questionable activities these two have been involved in. And the latest artist to break his silence is Beanie Sigel, who decided to share his experiences and expose both Diddy and Jay-Z. Beanie recently revealed some disturbing things he heard about Diddy's infamous freak-off parties, although he wisely chose not to get involved in any of that because he knew from the jump that Diddy was not to be trusted. But when it comes to Jay-Z, Beanie really believed he was a true friend. But unfortunately, like we've heard from many other rappers, both alive and dead, Jay-Z ended up betraying Beanie and turning his back on him when he needed his support the most. So what exactly happened between Beanie and Jay-Z? And what did Beanie reveal about those infamous Diddy parties? Let's get into it.
You know, y'all got that game pause. They stopped saying pause and now it's no Diddy. That's a bad joint.
As the day of Diddy's arrest is reportedly approaching fast, more details about his alleged wrongdoings are surfacing, and industry figures are finally starting to speak out against him. And while 50 Cent is probably the only one who was bold enough to publicly call out Diddy long before all these lawsuits started piling up, the situation is changing. Back then, it seemed like 50 Cent was just being petty and trolling Diddy for laughs. But now, as the legal troubles for Diddy continue to mount, more and more of his former associates are finding the courage to share their own stories. And the latest to do so is former Roc-A-Fella artist Beanie Sigel. But Beanie didn't just go off on Diddy. He also spoke about Diddy's longtime BFF, Jay-Z, who, according to Beanie, betrayed him in the worst way. So let's start with Diddy. He and Beanie used to be cool back in the day, and Beanie made a guest appearance on Diddy's second studio album, Forever, jumping on the track Journey Through the Life with Diddy, Lil Kim, Joe Hooker, and Nas. Diddy even wanted to sign Beanie to Bad Boy, but Beanie had already made a deal with Roc-A-Fella. And in hindsight, he definitely made the right choice. I mean, they don't call it the Bad Boy curse for nothing. Pretty much every artist who signed a deal with Diddy ended up getting screwed over. Anyway, in a recent interview on The Art of Dialogue, Beanie said he doesn't regret signing with Roc-A-Fella because knowing what we know now about Diddy and how he treated his artists, who knows if Beanie would still be around to tell the tale if he had signed with Diddy.
You wrote for Diddy at one point, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote a couple records. Yeah, it was a couple records. I don't really remember the exact records though.
How did they come about though? Him reaching out to you for you to write for him?
I did that early in my career when I first signed with Roc-A-Fella. Yeah, it was a little bidding war. Yeah, I got the call from Puff, and me, him, and Nas was going to do a record together. Then I wound up staying at the studio doing a couple records.
That's news to me, man. So he was trying to sign you to Bad Boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's news right there, yo.
I could have been that Bad Boy. I could have been the Rough Riders. Couple spots.
Why didn't you sign a Bad Boy?
I was already committed to Roc-A-Fella. I ain't signed no contract yet, but it was already done.
When you look back in hindsight, do you regret it?
Being signed to Roc-A-Fella?
Yeah.
Hell no. No, I don't regret that at all.
So when you look back at your career, knowing that you could have been at Bad Boy or Rough Riders, you still, if you go back, you would still sign.
You, listen to that question you just asked me. Bad Boy or Rough Riders? Maybe Rough Riders. But right now, in hindsight, looking at things, nah.
Right.
Nah. Nah.
I feel you.
As for the legal mess Diddy's dealing with right now, Beanie mentioned that he heard some stuff about those notorious Diddy parties over the years, but he made it clear he never attended any of them, not one.
How you feel about the situation Diddy going through right now?
Man. It's wild. You know, y'all got that game pause. They stopped saying pause and now it's no Diddy. That's a bad joint. That's bad. Man, no Diddy.
Have you ever been to his parties?
Not one. Not one. Not one. Ever.
Yo, hey, you heard about him though?
Yeah. Yeah, you hear about them parties? Nah, that wasn't for me. No, sir.
What you hear about him?
Same thing everybody else heard about him.
Now, as for Jay-Z, Beanie had a lot of trust in Jay back in the day, not knowing that Jay would screw him over just like Diddy screwed his bad boy artists. When Beanie appeared on Drink Champs back in 2021, he said that when he first signed with Roc-A-Fella in 1998 and became their flagship artist, he really believed Jay was solid and would have had his back no matter what.
Roc-A-Fella Records was the only thing that I've ever been a part of that I thought was honest.
It's dope. It's ill.
Like, it's really me for what it was. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm from South Philly, so, you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean? Pray next to you, turn around, blow your head off. Like,
You said smile, shake your hand, pray next to you, and burn your head.
yeah, all that vicious. That's where I come from.
Yeah.
Wash your body. You know what I
Just
mean?
pray.
Son of fornicate with your daughter. Yeah, that's where I come from. That's the world that I lived in. So me being with Roc-A-Fella, the La Familia, I held on to that. It's like I got something, and you know what I mean? And it's like, got me. And they don't want me, they just want me to do this. It's music. They got me. And that's all I asked, you got me. That's where I came from. I never looked at me having a career. I never looked at the business. It was La Familia, La Familia, La Familia.
But like many other artists who thought Jay-Z was a real friend, Beanie quickly learned that Jay cares about one thing and one thing alone: profit. And all that talk about La Familia flew right out of the window the moment Jay-Z felt like Beanie could jeopardize his cash flow. Now, to give you some background, back in 2009, Beanie recorded the song I Go Off with 50 Cent, dissing Jay-Z. But Beanie and Jay had already fallen out by that point, and it all started around the time Roc-A-Fella split and Beanie was dealing with legal troubles. And during the same episode of Drink Champs, Beanie shared how he felt crushed when Jay-Z vouched for him in court back in 2003, but then said he wouldn't be responsible for keeping tabs on Beanie's whereabouts.
So at that time, when, you know, I'm going to court, and we about to be on tour. We on tour. So,
Another tour.
yeah, we on a whole nother tour. So, you know, I'm going for my bail hearing in the feds. And the judge asked Jay, you know, everybody's saying all these good things and all that. You know what I mean? The character witnesses, Dame, and, you know, everybody's saying, and even Jay said a whole lot of good things about me. And the judge was going to let me go. Monitor. And she said, you know, would you be willing, and that's the part that people don't have, would you be willing to be responsible for his whereabouts, not be responsible for my actions, just his whereabouts? Would you be willing to do that? Provide us with all the information, you know, saying that he's going to be here, there. And after all that good, he said no. But it was like the way he said it, and he put his head down, he was like, no, I've never been crushed like that ever in my life. Cause I'm like, damn, this is my man, like, And I looked at it like, all right, no. Damn. What if I had this? I'm in jail. I'm still tall. But what if I really needed to go? This was going to my mind.
Like, get out of jail, you say?
Like, yeah, like, bro, I had attempted in the state and the federal and all this shit. The 40 years is over. This is what I'm facing, 40 years. What if in my mind, I'm thinking like, damn, what if I really needed to roll? Be on a run and go. Like, I'm from like, this my man and I love him. If he skipped that, I'm getting my man, I'm getting him out by any means necessary. So, for me to look him in his eyes and I'm shackled, around the wrist, ankles and everything, and the man was like, oh. Like, that was that day. I don't know, that was that, yeah. It took everything in me not to like let one go. Like, that took away a lot of thought that we had. Like, that's big, bro.
Now, some fans defended Jay-Z, saying he did the right thing by saying no, because it's not his job to keep another grown man out of trouble. They argued that Beanie was responsible for his own actions, and it wasn't fair of them to expect Jay would save him from his own mistakes. But many others pointed out that this whole thing about Jay-Z being a snake isn't just about Beanie Sigel. See, almost everyone who helped Jay-Z climb to the top has a similar story about him. From Jaz-O to Dame Dash, they all thought Jay was their friend, only to feel betrayed by him later on. And to be fair, this pattern makes some sense, considering that no one becomes a billionaire by being a nice person, and it pretty much seems to be a requirement to not have any morals or principles if you want to make that much money. Now, lacking morals might make someone seem like a snake, but it isn't a crime. So are people just being bitter when it comes to Jay-Z? Well, here's the thing. Many folks believe Jay-Z didn't just betray his friends and make shady business moves. Some individuals actually accused him of actual crimes, alleging that he literally eliminated anyone who stood in his way. Of course, Jaguar Wright has definitely been one of the loudest voices in the industry when it comes to calling out Jay-Z. Over the years, Jaguar has leveled some very serious accusations against Jay-Z, and she even claimed that he's taken out multiple people, from his former partners Big L and Pimp C, Aaliyah, his alleged mistress Kathy White, and many others.
What's the problem with Roc Nation and Jay-Z now? Or what's
no interest in retiring, and he was looking forward to working with Roc Nation to build a better, brighter future for our people in music. 3 weeks later, some random wanders into his mansion with armed security and all, with a AR. His 80-year-old wife, Jacqueline Avon, in the back.
But it's not just Jaguar Wright. Even some high-profile industry figures have made similar allegations about Jay-Z, including his former friend Kanye West. Back in November 2016, shortly before he was hospitalized and put on psychiatric hold, Kanye went off on both Jay-Z and Beyonce during his concert in Sacramento. Kanye accused the Carters of using blackmail to get awards, and then he suggested that Jay-Z has and that he might try to take him out for exposing him and his wife.
Beyonce, I was hurt. Because I heard that you said you wouldn't perform unless you won Video of the Year. Jay-Z called me. Hey, bro, Jay-Z, I know you got. Please don't send him out my head. Just call me.
Coincidence or not, less than 24 hours after he publicly slammed Jay-Z and Beyonce, Kanye suffered some kind of episode while hanging out with his former personal trainer, Harley Pasternak, and was placed on 5150 psychiatric hold. But knowing what we know now about Harley Pasternak and how he later threatened to institutionalize Kanye again and send him back to Zombieland, I mean, you really can't blame people for looking at Jay-Z sideways. And then, of course, we can't overlook the fact that Jay-Z was BFFs with both R. Kelly Jay-Z and Diddy for years, but the moment they got in trouble with the law, Jay-Z was nowhere to be seen. And while you'll never see mainstream media questioning Jay-Z over his association with Diddy, leave it to 50 Cent to remind everyone that Jay and Diddy were as tight as could be for literally decades. Shortly after Homeland Security raided Diddy's properties back in March, 50 shared this meme on IG and wrote, "Anybody seen Jay? LOL. Puff said he ain't answering his phone." And then Jaguar Wright again joined the chat, claiming that it's only a matter of time before people realize that Jay-Z is just as bad or even worse than Diddy.
It must suck to know that Jay-Z is most likely for all of this to be done to you. Little booty hole brother. They are psychopaths, and they have been working together for the better part of 25 years. They collect victims, they compete, and they claim their prizes. You know, there was a movie called Kiss the Girls. Do you remember that with Morgan Freeman?
No, I definitely remember that. Yep.
And remember, they were looking for the Casanova unaliver, the serial. And as they went into their investigation, they started seeing that certain crimes were mirroring one another. Two different styles. Same hunt, same. They came to find out that it was two of them working, mirroring, competing. One type of woman grabbed one way, same type of woman grabbed another way on the other side of the country. They were able to find their lunar cycle and how they hunted and when they picked. And guess what? It was the sloppy one that got him caught. Because it was the sophisticated one that taught him how to hunt. Sean Carter is just as bad as the diddler. And I know that for a fact. I got the scars to prove it.
Now, you can call Jaguar crazy or a clout chaser or whatever, but what's actually crazy is that she has been proven right more times than we can count. In fact, 3 whole years before Cassie filed her lawsuit, Jaguar claimed in an interview that Diddy was an extra. And this was long before anyone called Diddy that word.
And he's using music and entertainment. Was mentored by Clive Davis.
So who's to say Jaguar Wright won't end up being right about Jay-Z too? Only time will tell, I guess. As for Beanie Sigel, fans are coming to his defense and saying that he might have made some mistakes in the past, but when you compare him to Jay-Z and Diddy, he comes off looking like a saint. One fan said about Jay-Z, "I absolutely believe that he is 100% worse than that nasty do-dirty Combs. And not necessarily for the same things that Combs has done, but certainly I have my reasons. If you have any level of high consciousness, when you know, you know." And another fan added, "Jay and their beloved Queen Beyonce. Kanye told y'all they unalived folks." But let me know how you feel about Beanie Sigel calling out Jay-Z. Do you think Jay will go down next after Diddy, or is he too protected to fall? Drop your comments below and then check out this next video.